about your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
About your opponent, Donald Trump. I was a little bit
Y'all
surprised.
just see it?
People might be surprised to hear that.
Yes.
If you didn't pay attention, it might have happened really fast. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Greg.
What was that? I'm D White, and I'm confused. I'm confused.
Roly Poly, aka Roland Martin, had a booty shot up there. He was streaming, talking about the Kamala Harris interview, and something came up that I don't think he wanted folks to see. Everyone watching at home, you might need to restart our video to see it again. I'm going to show it again because there was a little bit too much butt for me. People went crazy on X and social media this weekend. Greg, what did you see people saying?
I mean, I was actually on with Dana with the data during that. I didn't see that at all. It's my first time seeing it. I mean, it's shocking that he would be live streaming and would let something like that slip. Or I don't know if that was on purpose, but why would you be watching that during the, and watching that at the same time? So it was just shocking all over. What about you, D?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen it too. And I was away with the family this weekend, so I haven't been on social media a lot. But I'm sure that they roasted him about that because I don't know how you get away from that. What do you say? That's crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, Roland Martin is a shill for the Democratic Party. It's pretty obvious that he's on their payroll. He's one of many on their payroll. And Tyrese is under his latest attack. Last week he had to pull Jermaine Dupri to the side. Please don't talk bad about Kamala. This week it's all about Tyrese. Let's see what Tyrese said and let's see Roland Martin's reaction.
Asian hate crime bill, which makes it beyond illegal to ever purposely and maliciously do anything to anybody in the Asian community. And there was a spike in crimes and criminal behavior in and around COVID, allegedly and specifically motivated by Trump. And so everybody started treating Asians, beating them, killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, hurting them. And then he gets into the White House, skips over every black and brown Mexican and Latino that have been getting killed like flies, and he makes it a law. Asian hate crime bill is signed into law. So whether you're a police officer or a regular civilian, if you wake up on it as a crime bill that was signed into law that protects Asians at all costs, where is that same fucking law to be signed into law when it comes to black and brown people? Because what you're doing is, President Biden and Kamala Harris, what you're doing is you're saying that black and brown people will continue to be disposable. That's why we got to vote, and we got to make sure our voices are heard, Tyrese. And it matters when we speak up and speak truth to power. When we speak what's on our heart, we will be heard. But first, you got to have the courage to speak up. And that's why I love you, Tyrese. You speak your heart, and your heart will never fail you.
So do you guys think that Tyrese got the phone call? Don't be questioning nothing. Let's wait till November.
I think after this is what Roland Martin had said in response, right? I don't want to jump the gun, but he lists like the bills that have been passed for black people. I think what black people right now, and maybe some Afro Latinos, their issue is with police brutality. I don't think it's necessarily like they're worried about other civilians, But yes, Trump did call it the China virus, and there was more hate crimes on Asians during that time, especially in New York City. So that did happen. I don't know that Joe Biden signed that bill, but they were blamed for COVID. What about you, D?
Yeah, Trump might have overcorrected when he signed the Stop Asian Hate bill, because I know he never told people to go out and hurt the Chinese or the Asian people. It's not what he said. He claimed that the virus came from Asia, which it did. That's a fact. We all know that now. It was conspiracy theory at the time, but it's proven fact that it came from Asia. And the way people reacted to that wasn't Trump's fault. He never told anybody to go do anything violent to them. So to correct that, because people were saying that he incited the violence against them, he did the Asian hate bill, and I think that he might have overcorrected for that, because people could interpret it like Tyrese did and said that everybody else doesn't matter, just the Asians. But he was, like, you don't need a water hose or a fire truck to put out a house that's not on fire, right? He was trying to fix that problem at the time.
Right. So let's see Roland Martin's response to Tyrese, and let's see how he's trying to get him in line.
Let me make this video real quick, okay? Like real quick. Tyrese, you do not know what you're talking about. That video where you're talking about an anti-Asian crime bill, that is a lie. Please, learn to fact check before you start talking. I have debunked this nonsense numerous times on Roland Martin Unfiltered. That is a lie. I literally have walked through the bill on my show. In the summary, it talks about the attacks on Asian Americans. It is called the COVID-19. It specifically mentions COVID-19. If you actually read the bill, which I've done on the air multiple times, it does not only apply to Asian Americans. It applies to everybody. It also, all it did was also create one job that compiled data. And so videos and people run with it. I need you to do some verification, do some fact checking before you do that. Okay? So you're wrong. It is not. People called it the Asian hate crime bill because of the attacks. And if you're also going to run your mouths out here and go, there's never been a bill for African Americans, that's a lie. There have been 3 hate crimes bills specific to African Americans. The first one, you were dealing with the Civil Rights Act in 64. Okay? Then you also had the hate crimes bill that dealt with black churches were being burned. I also broke that down on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And then, of course, you had the lynching bill that was also signed. Okay? And don't forget, you also have the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd Act that dealt with hate crimes. Yeah, James Byrd, the black man who was dragged to death in Jasper.
Roland Martin, Unfiltered BS. So Tariq Nasheed tweeted this, and I absolutely agree with him. He said the Civil Rights Act of 1968 never mentions black people. So first lie, it wasn't 1964, it was 1968. The Matthew Shepard / James Byrd hate crime was designed to specifically protect the white LGBT community. If you all remember, Matthew Shepard was an LGBTQ member. Lastly, the Emmett Till lynching act was not specific to black people, and it was so weak that that wasn't even used to prosecute the woman who had Emmett Till lynched, who was still alive. So, Gray, what do you think about what he said, and what's your reaction as a Democrat?
I believe he was talking about the Lyndon B. Johnson bill, and I believe that was 1964, if I'm not mistaken.
The bill that they talk about, though, the Civil Rights Act that most people are referring to are 68. What was in that bill in 1964?
Is that the Lyndon B. Johnson bill that he signed with Martin Luther King? I don't want to bore, but I just think that he was trying to correct Tyrese and give him some type of historical lesson, and I think Tyrese was more coming from an emotional standpoint, what he sees going on the news or in neighborhoods. So I think they were coming from like 2 different places of how they were trying to connect to people. What about you, D?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Tyrese was speaking, as if every man, the normal guy who sees the news and sees what's going on, and he gave his opinion on it. And you can't criticize anything that they do, because if you do, the dogs will come for you. They sick rolling on him. He came out from watching his videos. We all came out from watching his videos to come check Tyrese. I, that's all I got to say about it.
So to be accurate, it's the provisions of the Civil Rights Act forbade discrimination as the basis of sex, as well as race in hiring, promoting, and firing. So yes, I mean, there is something that talks about race, but again, it's nothing specific to Black people. And that's the argument that people are making. When Black people are benefited in this country, for the most part, it benefits all. There's very rarely anything specifically for Black people. And that's the point that they were making. But that always gets lost.
Right.
D, I mean, Gray, you got something to say?
Yeah, I mean, basically, like you summed it up, but I mean, like, I don't know if optics for Democrats or Republicans, if they specifically do something for Black people, is there really going to be a benefit? I'm not sure. Trump did the HBCU stuff. Obama did the cameras on the police officers, and Black people still attack both. So, what? I don't know if that's a solution.
I think the only solution is reparations at this point. That way we can give it out and move on and be done. Because every other party in this country that was wrong has been right. The Japanese that were interned, the Native Americans, everybody has something to say, yeah, it was given to us to make us whole, or somewhat make us whole in indemnification, except for Black people in this country. And I wouldn't see a dime of it. I don't give a damn.
And don't forget the Spanish people who were locked in cages. They all got a bunch of money too.
Who forget that they chose to come here? They brought themselves here
illegally. Right. Correct. They broke the law, got locked up, and got a check
across the border illegally, and they still got rewarded.
Right. I think for Black people, what we need passed is something against mass incarceration. I think that's a big issue in the Black community.
Yeah, but what about the people who are already mass incarcerated? What about that? What about those guys?
That's why I'm a firm believer in marijuana legalization. I feel like anybody, no matter the amount, should be free. They should have been free when the first dispensary was built in America. If you went to prison for weed, you should be out right now, because the government is getting so many taxes off of marijuana legalization.
That's a good point. Well, Roland Martin was fired before. Let's talk about the last time he was fired. Maybe he can be fired now.
Underwear ad smack the ish out of him.
I wouldn't smack anyone. That's not to say that I enjoyed the commercial. Look, if Roland was trying to get at a way to sell underwear to guys is not by showing them some dude's junk.
That commercial, you're right about that. That commercial was not for the men, okay? That commercial was for the ladies.
Yeah.
It's for the ladies who might purchase underwear for their men.
No question about it, right? Now, he happened to say it in a particularly colorful way that apparently got him in some degree of trouble. Now, one thing is, he said, oh, I was talking about the fact that David Beckham's a soccer player, and I had a tweet before and after about soccer.
How perfect. Roly-poly's mad about underwear. Dee, do you remember that tweet that when he texted that as a football lover?
I don't.
Gray, do you
I
remember
never heard
that?
it either. I've never heard about
allegedly,
it.
he tweeted that tweet out that was inappropriate while he was working it for CNN, and he got fired.
What did the tweet say? It was too fast.
It said, hold on.
If a dude something.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it and pause it.
Underwear ad smack the ish out of him.
If a dude at your Super Bowl party is hyped about David Beckham's H&M underwear ad, smack the ish out of him. I wonder if he was talking about himself. Like,
so is he trying to say if a dude is gay, slap him? Is that what he's trying to say?
Basically, that's what they infer from it. They show, from what Anna said, I'm just taking context clues, that there was a picture of David Beckham, maybe in some tight underwear or something, and he probably was. This tweet could be misconstrued as, he's advocating for violence against the LGBTQ people.
Yeah,
It
I
got
can
him
see how you
fired.
can see it that way.
Yeah.
And lastly, he loves to bring people on their shows and make them feel dumb.
For their role in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia?
Yes, they did. They pled guilty.
Right. So how's he being persecuted, though?
Because they're trying to use them to get him.
No. How is he being persecuted? Did he not, based upon, according to District Attorney Fonnie Willis, that Donald Trump tried to get officials in Georgia to, frankly, change the results of the election?
Look, I could get you to jump off a bridge or to try to jump off a bridge. And if you jump off a bridge, am I responsible?
Okay, you do know he's on tape calling the Secretary of State saying, find me 11,000 votes. He tried to pressure the governor, the Secretary of State, the head of the elections. So that's just one particular case as well. In the documents case, they asked him to return the documents. He refused to do so. He lied to his own attorneys about that. He told one of his employees, who is now flipped, do not, and he's not. If he committed crimes, then he should be prosecuted, yes or no?
Nobody's above the law. That's not the question. The question is, did he commit crimes?
Well, first of all, that's why they're trials.
That's the question.
Well, first of all, that's why they're trials.
Right, exactly. So, but when you talk about somebody who's acting on their constitutional right.
What constitutional right?
Freedom of speech.
Is there a constitutional right to overthrow an election?
He believes, and as many do, that there was some suspect activity involved in the 2020 election.
How many lawsuits did his campaign file, and how many did they win?
So, but what I'm saying,
asking you a question.
I don't know. What I'm saying,
I can give the answer. More than 60 lawsuits were filed. They lost them. Courts, Trump judges, Republican governors, Republican Secretary of States certified the election results. Now, here's the question I'm confused.
Do you think you could take him on?
I give it my best shot. I definitely would. Yeah, one thing I love is it's a good old fashioned debate. Everybody will tell you that.
For sure. I heard the Georgia phone call. I mean, that was a horrible moment for Trump. I mean, so he's asked him some big questions that, I mean, he was completely controlling the conversation. The guy was just responding with what he could. So, yeah, I guess going on Roland Martin, you better come with some good information.
Yeah, but I mean, he was already set up to lose anyway. The way he was prefacing the questions, I mean, it was really no answer that you could give to make Trump look. It was a terrible phone call, right? I wish he never would have been on the phone, but he didn't ask anybody to do anything illegal. He just told them, "Hey, man, we need to find these votes. Hey, if you find them, you find them. If you don't, you don't. That's all." He didn't say rig it, change it. Just go find them. Go look for them. Make sure nobody stashed some more in the closet. We need all of those.
Well, roly-poly, your day is coming. I think Black people are getting fed up with old Roland Martin. I think his time to be canceled is coming soon, probably after the election once they're done using him. Gray, what do you think about Roland Martin? What's your final words?
I don't know too much about Roland Martin. I've seen a few interviews. I've seen some of his stuff. I didn't know he was like this big person. I thought we were going to show the video where he was attacked. I think that was at the DNC. And I was wondering about that story because I didn't know much about it. But I wanted to know about what he did to that guy and why he was attacked by him. What about you, D?
Yeah, Roland Martin is definitely a big Democratic puppet. You know, that's what he's always been through, and I don't think it's going to change. His audience isn't. I don't seem to be getting any bigger from what I've noticed. Maybe he'll stick around, maybe he won't. But I'm really sick of him personally. What about you, Nora? What do you think?
I'm tired of him. I'm ready for him to go. I'm ready for the new generation of Black leaders to come in. It's time for him to go retire. He should go retire with Tom Joyner. I love Tom Joyner, so that's no shade to Tom Joyner, but when he retired, he should have retired.
Is that what Roland Martin's from, the Tom Joyner show?
Yeah, you don't remember?
No, I don't remember him at
And
all.
then Sean King used to come on.
Oh, wow. No, I had no idea.
I love Tom Joyner. I grew up on it. Anywho, well, let us know what you think in the comments. Is Roland Martin your idol? Do you like him? Do you hate him? Is there something more you'd like us to touch on regarding him? He was confronted by a podcaster in Chicago. That's what Gray's referring to, because he's an internet gangster. He says things behind the laptop, and the guy went up to him and he went to see him face to face. I would love to see a debate with Roland Martin and a fair contender. I heard Dr. Umar has invited him and D.L. Hughley. I can't wait to see them debate. D, any closing words?
Nope. Just make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and please let us know in the comments what you think about Roland Martin.
For sure.
Right.
So September 10th, we'll be on Dana with the Data's YouTube. We'll be debating her and Judge Joe Brown on the Man Up show. That's Kamala Harris and Trump debate. Tune in. Always
To be clear, me and D most likely will be on the side of Judge Joe Brown. But Gray, they love Gray over there. He will be debating.
Word. I got attacked all over in the comments. It was a rough battle for me over there. It was basically being on Fox News, but it was entertaining. It was fun, and we got a lot of watch time on the channel from that.
So if you're fans of Gray Mars, please check it out. He could use some fans in the chat. Poor Gray was getting beat up over there.
For sure. Always vote, guys.
Always vote.
Always vote.